Okay, hello today in our SmartSites Lunch and Learn series. Today I'm very excited to have Anka from Socialbee. Socialbee is a social media platform similar to Hootsuite, and they're also a social media agency through their concierge services. We're very excited to partner up with Socialbee, and we already have a few mutual clients. They really offer agency services for pennies on the dollar, and we love when our clients get value. It's a really great service. I'm excited for Anka to tell us more. Anka, why don't you take it away?
Hi, everyone. So, yeah, I'm Anka. I'm in Romania right now, and I'm part of the Socialbee team. I will be talking to you about our tool, but also about our services, because I hear that's what you want more. So, first of all, let me talk to you about Socialbee. I guess it's a half agency, half software as a service, where our users can either use the tool themselves or have us create the content for them, add community management, and some other services that they may need so that they can leverage that time and include it into other areas of their business where they might need more attention or where they're just better at it, because not everybody is better at social media. So with our tool, we have the ability to schedule and publish social media content across the most major social media platforms. We're talking Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google My Business, and Pinterest. And whenever something new comes along, if enough users request it or if it's big enough, we're also going to integrate that as well. So the platform keeps growing, everything keeps expanding at a very quick pace, I might add. When it comes to the tool, there's a big variety of features that you can use, and I'm not going to go through all of them now, but you can encourage everybody to book a call with us to get a free demo of the platform. They also get a 14-day free trial to try the tool. And why I'm saying this, it's because for any concierge service, or most of our concierge services, the tool is a mandatory thing. That's because we're going to use Socialbee as a tool to publish your content on your social platforms. So if you don't have the tool, we can't publish. When it comes to the software itself, it can do a lot of things. It can schedule content immediately. It can use categories to kind of organize your content into different content types and create a content mix around it. Sorry for the bird noises. That's my pet budgie. You can use evergreen content, which means it's easier to recycle and reuse your content time and time again with different variations and tweaks for it, so that it's the same content, but it's also fresh content that your audience or your client's audience hasn't seen before. So you can use all of that, and you can even automate it in different ways. So if your client has a blog and they want to share that content on social media, what you can do is you can connect an RSS feed from their blog to Socialbee, which means anything they post on their blog will be automatically added to their social media, to their Socialbee account, and from there scheduled to social media per their schedule. Now, when it comes to the actual services that we offer, and I'm going to share my screen with you here because there are a lot, and I have a feeling that it's going to be easier to follow if I just... Sorry about that. He isn't usually that noisy. Okay, so this is the team, by the way. This is everybody at Socialbee, and that's Jackie. She's our Chief Happiness Officer. When it comes to the services, our most popular service is the Social Media Specialist, which is where we create content for the client on a weekly basis. And what this means is that we can either create three posts, 7 posts per week for the client, depending on the tier they choose, to kind of keep their social media presence going. Now, before I get started and talk about every single service individually, a few things that apply to all of our services is basically everything is done on a month-to-month basis. So there's no contract that binds the client with us for a specific amount of time. They always have the option to cancel, upgrade, downgrade. They always have the option to ask for their money back if they don't agree with whatever we're doing for their account. And all of our services are done on the basis of an intake form where the client offers information for us. So basically, in that intake form, they're going to send information on their target audience, on their business. They're going to send their branding information so that we can use their logo, their colors, their fonts in the designs that we're creating. They're going to talk about their needs so that we have a better idea of what we need to be doing. But they're also going to talk about their expectations so that we are aware of what they expect of us, and then we can go ahead and try to match that. Now, that being said, let me go into more detail with each of our services. Most of our services have 3 tiers, depending on how much workload there is. Usually starts with light and ends with a plus version. So with the social media specialist, what this means, the light version starts at $99 a month. And with this one, you would get 3 posts per week. The posts will be added twice a month. So basically you would get 6 posts in batches so that they last 2 weeks. And the schedule is created according to that so that you only publish that much. Or you can create your own content on top of what we create for you if you just want to have like a little balance between one-off posts and regular content that you want to have there just in case. Our most popular option, though, is the standard version, which is $149 a month. This offers 1 post per day, every day of the year. So you don't have to worry about Christmas posts. You don't have to worry about anything like that. We always make sure there's enough content for you to go through the holidays or through the vacation or anything that you may need. And with this one, basically anybody from my team who's assigned to the client's account will be emailing them on a weekly basis, letting them know that the content has been added, and they can review the content, approve the content, or even request edits to the content. And I'll talk about the edits in a minute. The last version of the social media specialist is the plus version, which is $249 a month. And this one also has 7 posts per week, so 1 post per day, but it also includes an add-on. An add-on could mean boosting your Facebook posts for more engagement, or it could mean creating a video-based article on your blog so that you can share it to social media. Or it could just mean crafting some awesome GIFs for your social media as well. Now, what do you expect with all of these social media services? Well, as I said, you will get an intake form, and we will be doing an in-depth profile analysis so that we understand what you've been doing so far, if you've been doing anything. And then we would be looking at your competition, your role models, if there are any. And then based on that, we will be creating a client brief in the onboarding stages. So using the information from our research and the information from the intake form, and even if needed, any emails with the client. All of that will be gathered into a client brief, which will be the base of any content that we create. And then they will get a designated B, who is one of my colleagues, because we call ourselves Bs. And with that, we will start creating the content. Now, the content will come on a weekly basis, as I said, but you can always request edits. You will have the ability to comment internally. I don't know if they're using the old version of the logo and you recently changed it and you didn't have the time to email us and let us know. You can do that in a comment and attach the new logo there. Now, when it comes to the differences between these, beside the number of posts and the add-on, there's a few differences when it comes to how long it takes us to do the edits for you. So obviously, someone with a plus version will have a bigger leverage in asking us for edits, and they have a number that's larger for edits. So they can they will get 7 posts per week, out of which they can request edits for 5 posts. And they will get those 5 posts edited within 2 working days. For the standard version, you get 4 edits and you get 3 working days as a time frame. And then for the light version, you get 3 out of the 3 posts that you get on a weekly basis, or out of the 6 that you would get on a bi-weekly basis, and they will get done in 5 working days. All of them include us doing some hashtag research, static visuals, and some GIF or GIF animations that we scout from the internet. But only the standard and plus version include customized texts for each platform. So you may or may know this, may or may not know this, but Twitter has a shorter character limit than Facebook. LinkedIn requires more of a professional tone. Instagram requires 10,000 hashtags these days. And so all of these need to be created a bit differently. So when it comes to the standard or plus versions, you can get these done within your plan. And then for the plus version, you also get a custom ratio for images for each one of your platforms, so that it's how do I put this? It's it uses the best practices for that platform. When it comes to the plus version, you also get a weekly add-on, but you can choose it on a monthly basis. So if you want in the first month boosted posts, you can use boosted posts and then swap it for extra customization or content curation even, depending on what you want, or you can just keep the same. It's up to you or your client. And the client can choose the social media specialist tier based on the difficulty of your industry or of their industry. Basically, the more difficult it is for us to create that content, the less options you have. Because if you need expert content, it's going to take us a lot more time than it's going to take us for somebody. Let me give a good example. So a law client will take us more time to research, because laws are so particular to each state and each country, than food blogger, for that matter. So all of these things are taken into consideration when using the social media specialist service. You can also download a sample of the service so that you can see on real clients of ours that have expressed their agreement, don't worry, that what we're doing, basically. So you can see exactly what type of content we are crafting for them. You also have some FAQs here, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I will address any questions in a minute. So that's our social media specialist, but we also create content for blog posts or for LinkedIn, because on LinkedIn you can add articles, or we can just create the articles for you to include in a newsletter, for instance, or create a guide that you can use then to promote your business. With content writing, we have so many tiers that it's hard for me to talk about all of them. So I'll just structure them into weekly and monthly articles. Basically, with the weekly plan, we have a light standard plus version. With the monthly plan, we also have a light standard plus version. The monthly, so basically one article per month is $99, and then it goes up from there depending on the option that you choose. And we also have options that are one-off. So as I mentioned, the guide creation one, for instance, if they just want a 1,000 word guide that's specific to their industry and on the topic of their choice, they can just turn into an ebook or whatever they need. They can contact us and we can do that as a one-time thing, and that's it. The guides start at $399 per guide. And then with this, you'll also get the intake form. You also get the analysis of your website, of your socials, so that we get the tone of voice right, so that we get everything about your business just as it should be. And then a person starts crafting the articles, where they will also provide with SEO-friendly keywords, with SEO-friendly titles for your blog posts, and they will actually communicate with the client on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, depending on the tier that they choose, to make sure that everything is up to their liking, up to their standards, and that everything is good, basically. So with the content writing options, there's some differences, of course, within what they get. So with the light version and the standard version, they get up to 1,200 words per article, and they get a little more with the plus version. And then the plus version is also more specific to each industry. So we go a little more in depth than your average top of the funnel article. It's more knowledgeable. It offers more value. That's what I'm trying to say here. We also add some visuals to the articles, depending on the tier that they are on, and they also provide with subtitles or after titles as well. Now, when it comes to the delivery method on this, Google Docs is always the way to go, but if you prefer WordPress, we can upload it to WordPress with our standard tier, or to a CMS of your choice with the plus tier. And then when it comes to edits, again, there's a difference for working days when you will be getting the edits, because we need to plan this accordingly. So 5 working days will be the time for an edit requested on the light version, 3 working days on the standard version, and 1 working day on the plus version. And then when it comes to SEO, there's a lot here, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because it will take me forever. But basically, we try our best, and we do a lot of research to make sure that the articles that we provide are SEO friendly, and that they get indexed into Google searches and search engines in general, so that you can leverage that as well. You can also include links, call to actions, and such into the articles, depending on the tier that you're on. And as I said with the social media specialist, you can also download a writing sample from our content writing service. This is actually an option that is available on most of our services, so you can always see what we're creating, to kind of get a feel of whether it's right or not for the client that you're thinking of. I'm just going to drink a little bit of water. And then I'm going to move on to the guide creation, which is the one that I was talking about. As you see, it's $3.99 per guide, but you can always include more words. So it starts at 3,000 words, but then you can always include more words if needed. When it comes to community management, there we have 3 types of services. We have the Instagram community management, the Twitter community management, and then LinkedIn lead generation. Now, when it comes to Instagram and Twitter, they're very similar. I will talk about them individually though, but most of things apply to both. So pricing wise, they are the same. Light version, $99 per month. Standard version, $149 per month. Plus version, $199 per month. Where things differ is in the number of interactions that we do per week. Basically, with this service, what we do is that we go into the client's Instagram account or Twitter account, and we kind of interact with people on their behalf, and this causes their engagement rate to go up, and also their following to go up on an organic level, so that you kind of make sure that nothing is captured by Instagram in a malicious way. So there are no bots involved. Everything is done manually and organically, so that your client can benefit the most out of the service. So with the light version of the Instagram community management, you can get up to 100 interactions per week, meaning that we go on Instagram and interact on hashtags. People follow, people from your target audience or your client's target audience follow. We follow accounts that are relevant to you. We comment on pictures that are of users that might be in your target audience or interested into your services or products and so on. And that's what every step of that is considered an interaction. So with the light, I said 100 interactions per week. With the standard is 150, and with the plus is 200 interactions per week. And then with Twitter, the same applies, except here we do 500 connections per week and 50 interactions per week. So the connection here is when we follow someone on your behalf or your client's behalf. And then the interaction is when we actually like tweets or we comment on tweets based on relevant information in there. And with this, it's 500 in the light, it's 1,000 connections and 100 interactions in the standard and plus versions. And the plus version also includes 10 retweets per week, since that's a little more engaging to the audience and it can notice you even more. And the third version of community management is actually designed for LinkedIn. And this is a bit different since LinkedIn is a more professional network. The LinkedIn lead generation service connects your personal profile or your client's profile on LinkedIn with other people from their target audience. And then we send a sequence of messages to get the user that we connected to interact with our client and then become maybe a potential lead and then a customer. So with the LinkedIn lead generation, the light version will just offer you the connections. So we actually go and find the people from that target audience and we connect with them on your behalf. And this is $99 per month. And we create 100 connections per week. Then with the standard version, we stay at 100 connections per week, but we also add in a follow-up message. What this means is that with the initial connection, you'll have a message, a note, and if the user I'm connecting with doesn't reply to that note within a week or maybe two, we send in a follow-up message, something simple like, hey, did you see my last message? Do you want to talk about this? Something like that. That can kind of help start a conversation in the right direction. And then with the plus version, we increase the connection number to 150 connections per week and 2 follow-up messages. So this time, if they don't reply, we send them a follow-up. And if they don't reply to that follow-up either, we send them another follow-up just to make sure that they see their messages before we give up on them. A good thing to mention with the lead generation service for LinkedIn is that even though for most of it, it's not required, it's best or recommended that the user has a Sales Navigator account, since LinkedIn actually limits the number of connections that you can do within a month. Unless you have a Sales Navigator account. And the Sales Navigator starts at, I believe, $59 a month. But it's a very good addition. It also allows for more specific targeting rather than just look for the job title of your audience. So you can look for location, you can look for age group, level of career achievements, and so on. So it makes it a lot easier for us to achieve the right people, to get the right people in your target audience to connect with you rather than without the Sales Navigator. As with any service, we get an intake form and we analyze your LinkedIn and everything that you've done that beforehand. Sorry. And with the plus version, we can also add in extra messages whenever needed. What happens once they reply to your messages. Well, with the light plan, you will have to pick it up from there. With the standard plan, we offer one reply. So if they just ask a general question, we can follow up on that. If they ask something specific, we will ask you to follow up on that, or your client, since you know your business best. And then with the plus version, we will offer 2 replies as much as possible, and then pass the customer or the lead over to the client whenever they are ready to become a customer. And that's really all that I have to do to say on LinkedIn. The final service that I wanted to talk about today is the ads management service. This one is not exactly the same as all the other ones. So this one is structured into a little differently. So basically you have 4 tiers here. You have the light, standard, plus, and a custom tier, because we know with ads it can be tricky. So someone with a bigger budget might need something more than what we have with the standard or plus versions even. When it comes to what these include, they will always start with an intake form and then a consultation with the client to kind of get the right goals in mind. And then based on that, we will be creating 1, 2, 3 or more campaigns for their client. The campaign will be created completely by us. So that means visuals, that means text, that means research for the keywords, that means estimating the ad spend, and so on. Another thing that is worth mentioning here is the fact that this price that you see here is not going to include the ad spend. So this is the fee for managing the ads and creating the ads, but the actual budget for running the ads is something that will be added on top of the fee that you see here, and that budget is established together with the client in the initial call. And I think that's it from me. So if you have any questions or anything that you're curious about, I'm all ears.
Hey, Anka, could you show us some examples of the some of the social media activity you guys have done? And eRealty Advisors, you could show their Instagram, and that's one of our mutual clients. And you can also show some others, because I think the picture is worth 1,000 words. Showing the graphics will will speak volumes to your work.
That makes sense. Let me just go into their account, and I will then share my screen again with you, and I will show you. I can also show you a little bit of what the tool implies, so that you kind of have a better idea of how we do the work there as well.
And also, Anka, while you're pulling that up, could you speak a little bit about what type of clients you've seen the most success with? Is it e-commerce? Is it, you mentioned lawyers? Is it home services, doctors? Which ones kind of appreciate your services and stay with you guys? Yeah.
Well, that depends on what service. Because with the lead generation service for LinkedIn, for instance, we're seeing more success on any industry that's more B2B focused than anything that might be B2C. Whereas for e-commerce, Instagram community management and Twitter community management seem to work better. When it comes to ads, I would say there's a mix of both. And when it comes to social media, we really have clients in a lot of different varied niches. So we have everything from cryptocurrency to skincare to what do we have? Pet supplies, lawyers, carpenters, and a lot of other niches as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Anka. So from your services, we also do PPC management. Not necessarily the way you guys do it. As I see it, you guys push push the posts and boost posts and stuff like that. Ours is a little different, but That we probably wouldn't look to you for. Similar to content writing, it overlaps with a little bit of what we do. But yeah, the social media activity, definitely that's something that we'd look for. And also stuff like the interactions and community management and outreach. I personally don't have any experience with that, but yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, let me just share my screen again. Let me know when you see it. Are you able to see my screen yet, or not yet? Yeah. Okay, great. So basically, I have here eRealty advisors for their Facebook page and also their Instagram. We kind of created a theme using their colors to get a better looking feed, so that whenever a client looks at their feed as a whole, they will see something that's cohesive and something that works together very well, because it's always using the same shades of colors, and everything should be working together. And you can see here that it's already out of what we created. So we kind of
click the excuse me for interrupting. Can you click the Mark Zuckerberg one just to kind of show the what you guys wrote for it?
Sure.
Just to give you guys an example, why I like Socialbee so much. It's it's $99 per month with that eRealty is on, and they get 3 posts per week. So that's 12 per month, right? So that's less than $10 per post. A post includes a graphic, which could be something like this, adding some green or whatever to another post, in some color editing. It includes the actual message they wrote here with all the hashtags, right? And it includes posting it on all the platforms, and of course talking to the client and all the back and forth. So just in terms of a value, for the delivery, I think Socialbee really delivers here.
And when it comes to the types of content that we create, it's usually a content mix that's trying to be balanced between providing value, providing some entertainment that's appropriate to the niche, and also promoting their services or products. So this post was a good example of a quotes post that we would do as an entertainment or infotainment, motivational entertainment, whatever you want to call it, to kind of boost engagement with the client's audience. Whereas something like this would be a promotional post, where we would be actually actively promoting, including call to actions for the client's services or products. And then for Facebook, for instance, we would also be including some curated content that would help with providing even more value and more authority to the client by bringing outside sources that say the same thing that your client is saying. So that's also very important. This is a good example of that. Another good thing that by the way, this is the Socialbee platform. I'm currently in Richard's account. And you can set the time zone to the client's time zone so that they have everything ready there. And within the content menu, this is where we'll be creating all of the content. And what's easy for your client to do is that they just have to go into the content approval section, which is where they will see anything that's not approved yet. And so this way they can see which posts fit their needs and their expectations, and then just go ahead and approve it from here on a click. And that's it. And if they don't want to approve it, they need some edits, they would just comment on it here by tagging the person who's handling their account, and they would be able to let us know if something's not working right or something is not according to their needs. And as you can see, there's also a post history, so that we know any activity that was here, so that we kind of have a track record of who did what on the client's account. Any other questions?
Anka, can you show us another example? Did you work with any dealerships by any chance, like an automotive dealer?
Not that I'm aware of at the moment, but let me look into the client that we currently have and see what I can find.
That's fine. You could follow up with me separately if you find if you work with any dealerships. We have actually one of our referral partners here, Chris from Anderson Advertising, and they work pretty much exclusively with car dealerships. So if you have any use cases with that'd be very good for us to see.
Right. I will look into it and then I will follow up with you via email. Let me see another good example to use with, I guess, one of our oldest clients would be a good example. He's actually, it's a skincare brand, and they've actually been the very first social media specialist service that we offered. Let me just find them really quick. That very first social media specialist service was, I believe, 2.5 years ago. So they have really stayed with us through thick and thin, and we have created a very good connection while doing that. Now, this client has a very particular preferences, so it might not appeal to everybody, but it is also something that we pride ourselves in, the fact that we can cater to all needs and all types of preferences, so we can kind of shapeshift into whatever the client needs us to do. For this, they just kind of wanted like a more playful approach. So that's why we went with all of this, all of these designs, and then also promoting the brand as well. Yeah, as I said, they had a very particular set of preferences, which is why some of the posts might not appeal to everybody. But yeah. Anything else that I can share examples from would be the posts that you will see in the examples, because for any other clients, I do not have permissions to show at the moment.
Fine, thank you.
Anything else? Any other curiosities? Any complaints even?
I think we are all set, Anka. I usually do have a quiet group, but trust that they are all, passionately listening.
Awesome.
So, Anka, thank you so much for your in-depth presentation and showing us some samples as well. Really appreciate it. And I will also keep everyone in the loop, because for the one mutual client we already do have, I will be pushing for them to try out the engagement services as well. Currently, they just do the post activity, which we've all been happy with. So as soon as I get some insight with the others, if I do, I will share with everyone. And again, Anka, it was a pleasure having you on in our Lunch and Work Partner series. Really appreciate you, staying after hours on a Friday to join us here today.
That's okay. I work from home anyways.
All right. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anka.
Thank you for your time. Have a good one.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.